Hey everyone, welcome back to another reading vlog. If you're new here, my name is Tonya, and for today's video, I thought it'd be fun just to kind of hang out for the week and do some reading together and, just whatever else we happen to get into. So today is Monday and it's President's Day, so I do have the day off work, so not a typical Monday for me, but I thought it'd be fun just to go out, run a couple of errands, and of course get some reading in. So that's kind of what is on the plans for today. I need to go to Target because I have some headshots at work coming up, and I don't really have anything like business-y enough for the headshots, so I'm gonna go to Target and maybe look at like a blazer and a top or something like that. We are very business casual where I work, so most of my tops, they have some sort of pattern on it or something like that. So for the headshot, I just wanted something a little bit different. I'm sure we'll look at the books while we're there too, and I may run into Michael's while I'm over there just because I haven't been in there in a while. And then I also need to pick up Luna's Prozac because we don't want her to have to go without that. She got attacked by another dog last year, and she basically, I guess, had like PTSD from that attack. She ended up with 15 stitches. They had to put a drainage tube in while everything healed. Like, it was actually pretty bad, and she was just really uncomfortable on walks after that happened. So the vet put her on Prozac. It's been a lifesaver. I don't know if she's going to be able to wean off of it at any point. She actually has her annual visit the end of the week, so I guess we'll find out there. But if she does need to keep taking it, that is fine. Whatever, is best for her, but definitely want to get that picked up. And then I'm sure we'll come back, do some reading, maybe some other things around the house. And then at 4:15, I do have a Pilates class that I'll try to take you guys along with me as well. I don't know how much I can actually film in there, but we shall see. So that's kind of the plan for today. And where we are reading-wise, the book we're going to be reading in this week's video is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I did start it over the weekend. I'm not very far into it. Maybe a little over 100 pages or so, but so far really liking it. I'll give you more details on the book later, but did want to let you know what book we're going to be reading in this vlog. I'm also audiobook-wise listening to Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and I've been loving that so far. Really enjoying it. It's not my typical read, but I wanted to listen to it before I see the movie, but it's really good. I would suggest the audiobook. The narrator is amazing. There's a lot of humor, even with like some of the, hard topics that are going on and the, difficult situations, but really good audiobook. And I'm pretty early on in that as well. We're just kind of getting to the points where our male main character is starting to kind of figure things out, realizing that he may not be in the best situation. And he wakes up when we start the book with not a lot of memories of where he is, what's going on. So we've just kind of been working through that and, him kind of getting some of those memories back and figuring out where he is and why he's in this situation. So really good so far, and I'll be sure to give you updates on that book as well this week. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead, head on over to Target, and then catch back up with you later. So I am back home now, and somehow I managed to forget my most important errand, which was picking up Luna's medicine. So I guess I'll just do that before I go to Pilates tonight. And at Target, I didn't end up finding a blazer or shirt I like, so I guess I'll end up looking on Amazon. They only had one blazer, and it didn't really fit me very well, so didn't pick that up, but I did get a couple of things. One being, I got a salad kit for dinner tonight. Random, but some paper shred. I use this when I pack orders for my Etsy shop, for my soaps and lotion bars and things. And I always try to pick it up when it's on clearance because it's just cheaper that way. And then in the dollar spot that is not a dollar, I ended up getting this cute vase that I thought would be fun for spring and summer. And then, what else? Cat treats and dinner for myself. Not a healthy dinner, but dinner nonetheless. It's this chicken mac and cheese by, I think you pronounce it Raina. I really like that brand, and this will probably give me dinner for like 2 or 3 days, at least 2 days, maybe 3. So there's that. And then I didn't get a lot of footage in Michael's. I did get some. They were rearranging the store, so it was a little bit of a cluster in there. But I did find these cute kind of bookish paint by number kits. So I got this one, which is a castle. And then I got this one that was super cute, and it's like a bookshelf with a little dragon on there. Don't know if I'll be any good at these. If they turn out okay, I'll probably end up putting it on my bookshelf. But I wanted to find just like a little kind of cozy hobby I could do while I was listening to an audiobook, just, you know, as another option of kind of something different to do. So I grabbed those, and that's kind of all I ended up picking up. So yeah, here in a few, I'm going to take Luna for a walk, and then I'll catch back up with you guys later. Oh my gosh, guys, that was a hard class. I think I almost died. But I made it through it, moved my body today, and you know, that's kind of all I'm going for at this point, and trying to get stronger and more healthy is just, you know, doing the movement, getting through it, and it's getting a little easier, but man, it was a tough one today. Good morning, guys. It is now Tuesday morning, and it's about 8:15. I'm getting ready to start work for the day. Usually I go into the office on Tuesdays, but I had to switch my schedule up a little bit for a meeting, so I'm working from home today. And I love the days that I am working from home. But I wanted to check in with you, give you a little reading update. I think the last time I talked to you last night was after my Pilates class, which almost killed me. It's been a journey trying to get back in shape, but I'm plugging along. And then I just came back, ate some dinner. I read some, but I don't have as big of a reading update for you as I thought I would, because I had a strange little snafu last night that I've never had come up before. So let me show you. So I was plugging right along, reading The Will of the Many, and then I got to this point where I knew something was about to happen. It was kind of starting to get a little bit exciting, Not that it wasn't exciting before, but it just felt like something, was getting ready to happen that was going to move us along in our plot. And I read a page, I went over to the next page, and it didn't make any sense. So then I read it again. It still didn't make any sense. And usually I don't have any problems like understanding what's happening in a book. And it wasn't like it was like the language or the magic system, just the whole thing did not make sense. And then I made a little discovery, and let's see if I can clip this on for a second. So let's see if that'll show. I don't know if you can see that, but that says page 182, and that says page 487. So there was indeed a very good reason that I could not figure out what was going on. And I flipped through the book some. I never found the other pages that should have come after that. So 183 does not seem to exist. But that section of the 400s does seem to be in there further back in the book. So I don't know what happened with this copy, but I could not continue reading after that point because the pages were missing. I did buy this at Barnes & Noble a few months ago, so it's past their 30-day return policy, but I did go ahead and email them, see if there's anything they can do, but I obviously am not going to be able to read this book, and no one else is going to be able to either. So I ended up, and I kind of hated doing this because, I'd already spent money on the book, but I'm already pretty invested in the story. So I ordered the hardback on Amazon last night. It delivered this morning. I ended up doing the hardback because it was only this was on sale. There was $1 difference. So I now at least can continue reading the book. So that's kind of my update. I'm sure I'll get further today now that I have the pages that were missing. But yeah, I have never had that happen in a book before. I've had times where some of the print was a little wonky, but never where the pages were completely missing. So that was a new one for me. So yeah, that's kind of my update for now. I'm going to start work here. I may try to read a little bit on my lunch, and then I'll catch up with you guys later this evening. All right, so I wanted to check back in for another reading update. I have made some progress now that I have a book that has all the pages in it. I am now just up to part 2, and the story's at a point where Vis is finally going to the academy, which, that's where he's supposed to go, take it down from within, and that's kind of, been one of the main points of the story. So I'm imagining that at this point, things are really going to start to pick up, because this initial part has been just a lot of world building, a lot of history. We've had a few bigger events, but nothing major as far as the plot of the book goes. I mean, the whole point is for him to get into this academy and then take the hierarchy down from within. So we're getting to that point now. I think we're going to get a lot more perspective about various things that may be going on in the hierarchy. Like I had mentioned earlier, there's kind of 3 different main factions, and the one that runs the academy is the religion one, and it seems like they may have something going on that either the other 2 groups aren't aware of, or something that maybe those other 2 groups wouldn't really care for. So I'm really interested to see how things unfold from here. And as far as the writing, I've enjoyed it. Now the language, I wouldn't say it's hard, but, there's a lot more vocabulary in here than you might find in a standard book. But it's great writing. You get a good feel for the characters. You get invested into the world. And I think we probably, for how detailed the magic system is and how we needed to learn things about the various different countries that the hierarchy has overthrown, that we kind of needed that build up because, you know, we're 200 pages in now and we're just getting to the point where he's going to the academy. But like I said, still really enjoying it. Can't wait to see how things unfold. I'll probably read a little more tonight and then, of course, give you another update tomorrow. And then as far as my audiobook, Project Hail Mary, it's one where I don't think you can say much about it. And as far as the plot, without giving some bigger points away, it's one where you have to go in a little bit blind. I guess if you've seen the movie trailer, you won't be going in completely blind, but I don't want to give too many details away about it. But I am on chapter 8, and a big event is just starting to happen and kind of unfold. So I'm really interested to see where the story goes from here. We've been getting a lot of like background information. Basically, you get a present day chapter, one or two of those, and then you get some chapters from the past, because our main character, when he comes to, he doesn't have all of his memories. So kind of throughout the story so far, we've been getting those flashbacks and some of those past scenes as he's getting memories back. But in the present day scenario, something big just went down. So I think things are going to be really kind of interesting from here, and that the pace is going to pick up some more. And not that it's been necessarily slow, but there's been a lot of kind of fact finding and him just trying to figure things out, you know, why he is where he is, and how things work, and try to get these memories back to figure out what's going on where he is. And then there's been some pretty emotional parts to that as well, but there hasn't been necessarily like a lot of action. And I think we're at a point where that action is going to start to pick up more, and it's been a great audiobook. You know, if this is a book that you're interested in, I would 100% say go for the audio. The narrator just puts so much emotion, so much humor, and has kind of such a, I don't know if you'd call it sarcastic or ironic. He's, you know, definitely the kind of guy who's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It's really just been so much fun to listen to. I've heard so many people talk about the audiobook, but, you know, you never know until you start listening to it how you're actually going to feel about the narrator. But I find myself just in between the narrator and the story, like I can't wait find time to listen again. So definitely would recommend. But that's really all I got for now, except for I did make a discovery. I picked up this mic then to work on the audio quality, and I haven't been putting it on my shirt because it tends to pull it down and it's kind of a pain, somewhat muffles things. But I just discovered there's indeed a magnet on the back, so I guess I'll try that out at some point to see if, you know, that makes like clipping it on a little easier. But yeah, I've had this thing for, I don't know, probably 3 weeks now. No idea that a little magnet was on there, so maybe I should have taken a closer look at the instructions. But that is what it is. But yeah, that's my other exciting discovery for the day. So yeah, that's about all I have for now. I will read some more later. And like I said, I will, of course, have another update for you tomorrow. So, page 329. The plot is definitely plotting. Definitely was something I wasn't expecting, so can't wait to see how this one unfolds. All right, guys, so I did get quite a bit more of the Willow the Mini Read, and so I do have another reading update for you. But before we get to that, I did just want to show you a package that I just got from Orbit. So they sent me out 2 books. How to Summon a Fairy Godmother by Laura J. Mayo, and How to Survive a Fairy Bargain, also by Laura J. Mayo. And from what I can tell about these, they look like they're just going to be fun, kind of tongue-in-cheek fantasies with a little bit of romance in them. For this one, and this is a series, this is the first book, How to Summon a Fairy Godmother. It says, a laugh out loud fairy tale what if. And then from the back, Lady Theodosia Balfour is in trouble. Her stepsister is spreading not totally untrue rumors about her family, and now the Balfour estate is on the verge of bankruptcy. Rejected by society, Theo's only path forward is forced betrothal to the Duke of Snowbell, a geezer who wishes only to use her as a broodmare. Desperate for help, Theo clings to the one thing that might save her, the rumor of a fairy godmother, the same one who supposedly helped her stepsister secure a prince. After all, if a fairy can get someone into a marriage, getting someone out of one should be easy. But the fairy she meets isn't what she imagined. Gorgeous and devious, Cecily of the Ash Fairies is much more interested in smoking her pipe than providing charitable magic. Cecily's familiars, the flirty Phoenix and shapeshifter Kazra, are equally unexpected as she works to earn Cecily's magic. Theo will find that maybe she can get the life she deserves if she only takes a chance. So, yeah, sounds like just, kind of a fun, humor-filled book. And then the How to Survive a Fairy Bargain is the next book in the series. So I'll definitely be picking these up at some point. I'm sure there'll be a nice little brain break on a day where maybe I just need a good laugh or need to just, kind of have a fun little book that I can binge and, just kind of have a good time with. So thank you again to Orbit for sending these out. And I'll definitely let you guys know what I think about them once I've read them. And I also wanted to let you guys know that I started a TikTok account. I am very late to the game, and I will say I love watching all the videos over there, but I don't really know what I'm doing yet. But if you do want to come hang out with me over there, my handle is TonyaReads7. So definitely come on over there and join me, and we can figure out what I'm doing together. It's like I said, there's tons of great recommendation videos over there, and it's just kind of fun short form content. So I thought, why not give it a try? All right, and then as far as Project Hail Mary, I am still really enjoying that one. I'm nowhere near finished. I'm not going to get that one finished in this vlog. I tend to go slower with my audiobooks, so I probably got another week or so before I'm going to be finished with it, but I have really liked it, and I am really glad that I read the book before the movie comes out, and it'll be really interesting to see how they make some of these things that happen in the book come to life on the big screen. Lots of things have happened that I have not expected and were really surprising. There is a lot of technical jargon that our male main character says, since he is indeed a scientist, but that doesn't take away from it. It actually, I think, kind of adds to the enjoyment of the book. And I'm really hoping in the movie they can keep this same feel of the book. You get the humor in it. There are a lot of emotions that our male main character has to deal with as well. Plus, just I've really enjoyed the switching back and forth kind of in the timelines. I will say at present, we've been spending more time in the present day timeline than the flashback ones. But I'm sure that it's going to keep switching back and forth to some degree. But yeah, really enjoying it. And then as far as the Will of the Many, I have about 40 pages left. So we will definitely be finishing this book together today. And I've really, really enjoyed it the entire time I've been reading it. I think since about the 200-page mark, it's felt like it had a really good pacing the entire time. Not that the first 200 pages were completely slow, but there was a lot of world building and character building that did have to take place. But I feel like once we hit that part 2 of the book, we've kind of been in a groove and things have kept moving. Now, I will say I only had 40 pages left, and I can definitely tell that we're not going to resolve everything in this book. There's definitely going to be plot points that are carrying over into book 2. So I'm actually pretty excited about that and just want to see this story continue and where it's going to unfold next. But yeah, that's kind of where I am now. Like I said, I will be finishing with this with you later tonight and then kind of give you my final thoughts. But that's my update for now. Things are getting interesting. I think there's going to be a big old plot twist soon. Oh no. All right. So the ending of this book was just an explosion of things happening. I cried. I cried like 3 times. There was so many different kind of twists that happened, and what it ends on. Part of it, like I had a little suspicion of, like very small, but the rest of it was like, holy crap. So I definitely will need to pick up the next book very soon. I don't own it yet, but I am not going to want to wait around on this. So I'm going to be ordering The Strength of the Few very soon. This book was just great. It was really original. The world wasn't something that you see all the time. The magic was different. But more than that, just the storytelling was just so good and so unexpected. There were a couple of characters other than this that you do grow to care about, but a lot of the story, like, he is your main focus. There's not a ton of side characters that are adding support to this particular book. Now, of course, there are side characters, but they're not necessarily ones we get really invested in, with the exception of like 2 or 3 of them. The rest of them, they're there, they do their support role, but they're not what's pulling the story forward. It's all this. And, his feelings and his thoughts and the way he interacts with the world. And I just thought this book was so good. It's easily a 5-star book. Loved every minute of it. And I will be picking up the next book as soon as possible. We'll see what that does. It might be a mandatory one to be on my TBR for March, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to wait to continue this series. So, yeah, it's definitely worth the hype. Loved every minute of it. And that being said, that is going to end this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me as we read The Will of the Many. I do want to try to do more reading vlogs and change up some of the videos that I'm doing on my channel. So I hope you'll come back and hang out with me for future videos. Take care, keep reading, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.